First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Ruach HaKodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to the house of David, which is the elect. And I just want to touch on this article real quick. It just came out today, Wednesday, August 14th, about an hour ago. Massive cyber attack cripples Central Bank of Iran. So, as the world, has been waiting to see the response that the Iranian, government, along with its proxy allies, Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthis, have been, saying that they were going to respond to the attack or the assassination of those two generals or commanders that the Israeli government has done last month. Nothing has yet come into fruition. However, there has been a lot of movement, right? A lot of military movement and preparation, pointing to an attack that they were going to do. Now, there's been a lot of reports that it's possible that they've been reconsidering doing the attack, scaling back the magnitude of it, all these different, reports, right? But at the end of the day, we know that it is, according to prophecy, that this war is going to ensue, right? It is going to take place. And, that's ultimately where we hang our hat on, right? Is on the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, because his word is faithful and true. Now, being that there was now a crippling cyber attack, right, which we're going to get into this article at the, of the Central Bank of Iran, depending on, who basically comes out as the culprit, which more than likely it's either going to be the 48ers or, Babylon the Great, which is America. This is only going to just entice, them even more to do a strike, right? To respond aggressively, to either or both America and the Israelis. So let's read this. It says the opposition and Saudi-affiliated Iran International is reporting that the Central Bank of Iran has been hit with a large-scale cyber attack which caused major disruption to the banking system across the Islamic Republic. The outlet says the impact of the attack is far-reaching, suggesting it could be one of the largest cyber attacks on Iran's state infrastructure to date, coming amid soaring regional tensions with the 48ers. Okay, so as we're in the middle, right, or should I say not the middle, but in the beginning stages of a potential all-out regional war, which is not going to just be a regional war. This is going to escalate and spiral, into a global war. Once again, according to biblical prophecy, right? This is why, we read and watch for the current events, and we always filter them through the scriptures, because it is the scriptures which is the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, that is going to, come to pass. Let's get this here in Isaiah 55, not 56. Isaiah 55, verse 11, it says, "So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth." Okay, which we have in the form of the Bible, right? Okay, and the word was made flesh, which is Yahweh Shai. And Yahweh Shai, when he was on the scene, he prophesied about the times, the days that will be leading up to his return, which he spoke about wars and rumors of wars. Okay, so this is all a part of the plan, right? This is all a part of the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So it says, "So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth; it shall not return unto me void." Right? Let's go into this word void. Okay, because you have man, right? Men, they say things that can be void, right? It can be empty, right? Vainly empty condition, right? Without effect, okay? So ineffectual. So man can say things that are ineffectual or vain, but Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai does not say things that are empty or vain. That's why it says, "It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it." Right? And a great example of that was just a real quick example of that. I believe that's 1 Kings 22. Right? Go to the point where it says Micaiah predicts defeat. And this he was a prophet, right? He predicted or prophesied the defeat of King Ahab, right, when he went to go against Ramoth Gilead to battle. Now, before the actual battle happened between Ahab along with the king of Judah, Jehoshaphat, going to Ramoth Gilead, there was a council. There was a council on this, situation, right? On this ensuing war in the heavens, right? Because remember, the scriptures tells us that Yahweh deals in the kingdoms of men. Okay, so he sets up kings, he puts them down, right? He deals in the kingdoms of men. So this war, right, that they went to go to battle with, before they went to go to battle, they wanted to hear basically the the words of the Lord, right, concerning this battle. And they came to Micaiah, which was a prophet of Yahweh, right, and he told them what Yahweh said. Now let's go to the key point, right? This is the book of 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 19. He says, "And he said, hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all of the host of heaven, the angels, standing by him on his right hand and on his left. And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab," right, "that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead?" So this is what the Lord wanted. This was his counsel. He wanted Ahab to go to war and fall and eventually, and consequently die during this war at Ramoth Gilead. In order for this to happen, there had to be pieces and movements taking place, right? In order for this to actually manifest. And these movements was established in the heavens, okay, by way of Yahweh commanding, having this desire, and therefore through his angels, his messengers, putting, working on the minds, putting the pieces in place, in order for Ahab to be persuaded to go to Ramoth Gilead and therefore meet his demise. So he says, "Who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead?" And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. Now, when we can look at how this is actually playing out right now in the world. Now, we don't see it in the spirit realm, but if you're spiritual, you can see it, right? You can envision what is happening. And I say that because when you look at how the Lord got Netanyahu moving, right, that he's like adamantly stuck on going, to war and doing things that is poking at the Iranians, right? Such as that assassination that took place in Tehran, which is the reason why the Iranians are, contemplating launching a large-scale attack on the 48ers. Okay, now we know that Netanyahu always had this desire, right? He used to come with his PowerPoint, right? With the and I remember this years ago. You used to always see this because this is prophecy, right? It was prophecy that Iran and the 48ers, right? They were going to go to war. Okay, but back then, Netanyahu would have a lot of rhetoric about a red line, right? And he would say, "Oh, The Iran is reaching the red line, and he's basically trying to convince America, like, yeah, we need to go in there and go to war with them, because if we don't, then the state of the 48ers is going to be in grave danger. So now that we're seeing how this guy is moving, it has to be the will and the spirit of the Lord that's putting him in his mindset, which is ultimately happening by way of the Lord working on his mind through the angels, right? And the Lord is persuading Netanyahu to continuously be aggressive toward Iran and its proxies, right? So it says, and one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. And there came forth a spirit and stood before, right? Remember, the spirit is the angels. So the scripture tells you in the book of Hebrews that he makes his angels ministers of fire, right? So it says, and there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. So the spirits, clearly in the spirit world, they got bodies and they got mouths, right? They got consciences, they got thoughts, and therefore this is how this council was able to take place in the heavens, right? In Yahweh's throne, in his kingdom, all right, which is in the spirit world. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all of his prophets. And he said, being Yahweh, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. Go forth and do so. Okay, so let's look at this real quick, this last verse I just read. It says, how will you do this? The Lord asked, and the Spirit replied, I will go and inspire all of Ahab's prophets to speak lies. You will succeed, the Lord said the Lord. Go ahead and do it. Okay, and then when you go and continuously read the story, this is actually when you read up, right? Because this is when you read up, all of the prophets that Ahab had basically said that you're gonna go up and you're gonna prosper. You're gonna be victorious when you go into battle against I believe this was was it the Syrians at this time? Yeah, the king of Syria, right? So all of his prophets, as it says, about 400 men, right? 1 Kings 22 verse 6. Then the king of Israel gathered the prophets together, about 400 men, and said unto them, shall I go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And they said, so all 400, not one of them, right? Not one of them had the mind or the notion or the thought to say, nah, it's not going to work. You shouldn't go up there. Nah, they all said, go up, for the Lord shall deliver it into the hand of the king. And why did they all have that mind? Because this lying spirit, which, although when we're reading it, this vision that Micaiah said came, he spoke about his vision after they told him, right? After the 400 prophets told Ahab that he would go up. But clearly this vision happened, this council in the heavens happened before those 400 prophets told Ahab to do that. See? So that's why he says, thou shalt go forth, right? And Salaki, where was it? It says, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also, go forth and do so. And that's what they did, right? It says, now therefore, behold, the Lord, Yahweh, hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these prophets, and the Lord has spoken evil concerning thee. So Micaiah told him the truth, that your prophets are speaking lies because the Lord told him to speak lies. But guess what? He did that purposely because you were going to be persuaded by listening to the 400 prophets, and therefore you were going to meet your doom, which is the evil. And that's exactly what's happening right now. Okay, that's exactly what's happening right now, because once again, because the Heavenly Father Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai has declared the end from the beginning, we already know how this ends, right? We already know that this war is going to take place, that it is going to get this pop off, it is going to grow, get larger. Ultimately, the Russians are going to get involved, right? And it's going to be a global World War III that is going to bring forth the destruction of the utter destruction of Babylon the Great, and the state of the 48ers is also going to get bombed. Now we know that the land of Israel, okay, which they don't even have control over the actual promised land, but we know that that portion that they do have is also going to be destroyed too. And the people that are there, they're going to be they're going to die in this war as well, right? So going back to this article, the fact that we are seeing that we're at the cusp of, you know, this escalating, and then a massive cyber attack, right, hits the central bank of Iran, as they say, one of what could be one of the largest cyber attacks in the state infrastructure to date. All that's going to do is just increase their drive to, you know, do something, you know, catastrophic to the 48ers. So reading back on, it says, earlier Wednesday, Iran Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei warned the country about threats of irregular warfare, stating the exaggeration of our enemies' capabilities is intended to spread fear among our people by the U.S., Britain, and the Zionists. The enemy's hand is not as strong as it's publicized. We must rely on ourselves. Now, another interesting point is that over here in America, there has been quote unquote talks that do they mention it here in this article? Because I was reading another article, but there have been talks that there has been cyber attacks, right? Oh yeah, actually it is here. Let me see. Let's just continue. It says, he continued, the enemy's goal is to spread psychological warfare to push us into political and economic retreat and achieve its objectives. Could this reported major cyber attack be the work of Israeli intelligence? Likely, many in Iran believe so. Ironically, it comes on the heels of claims by U.S. officials in Western media that Iranian state hackers are actively working to influence and interfere in the upcoming U.S. elections. Okay, so here it is. It says, however, there has been no proof of these allegations, but only references to poorly made spoof websites which seek to influence either conservatives and liberal voters, right? So while this major cyber attack just hit the central bank of Iran, here over in America, you have the media and the U.S. officials saying that Iran has been, you know, hacking the emails of Trump's campaign. You know, they're trying to hack into, you know, the whole voting infrastructure to cause issues on that, right? They said that there has been connections, you know, to Iran with people over here that have desires to, you know, put a hit out on Trump. So that's something to you know, keep an eye on, right? All of this rhetoric about cyber attacks that Iran is trying to do over here in America, but yet here it is, Iran gets hit with a major cyber attack that cripples their central bank. Okay, it says, as for these Wednesday reports of a major cyber attack targeting Iranian banking, a story picked up in the Israeli media as well, Iranian officials have not given official confirmation, and state media sources remain silent thus far. Last December, a major cyber attack took out a significant part of the country's gas stations as it targeted widely used payment software, and Tehran's attributed the disruption to Israel and the U.S. See, it says the 48ers has long been known to target Iran's nuclear programs with cyber attack, some of which have reportedly been successful in crippling the operation of key sites in the past. 2 weeks have passed since Hania's killing, and Israeli leaders are still bracing for some kind of potential big retaliation from Iran. If it is accurate that Iran's central bank has been crippled in the attack, and if the 48ers Israelis is behind it, this could convince Tehran to finally pull the trigger on its long-awaited retaliation. And that's the key right there. Okay, because here it is, America is rhetorically, right, is saying that they want de-escalation. European countries, you say that they want de-escalation. Iran is saying that they don't want a wider regional war, but they gotta respond, right? And the 48ers is saying, look, we don't want it, but we with it, right? We if this is what it takes, then we will do this. And if it comes out that the 48ers are behind it, all this is going to do is just a spark right there, the Iranians to respond, and finally pull the trigger like this last sentence said. Okay? Which, once again, all of this is being operated by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai in the heavens. This is all being done according to the will of the Lord. Now, I want to get the scripture here in 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 28. It says, behold, an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, right? All of these, movements and all of this tension is rising up in the so-called Middle East. It says, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all that which hear them may fear and tremble. Okay? It says also the Carmenians, which historically, when you go into who the Carmenians are, it's the Iranians or the Persians, right? It says, raging in wrath shall go forth as wild boars of the wood. See? So they're going to be raging in wrath. And who is, once again, stoking that wrath? If this cyber attack, while the Iranians still haven't really done, a response to that assassination attempt, if this major cyber attack, which is, if it's as crippling as they say it is, and if it's been found out that it was done by the Israelis, with the backing of America, they're going to be very enraged, because in their mind, they're like, yo, we haven't even done anything yet. Y'all just been aggressively coming at us, and we haven't even done anything to y'all. And then here it is, y'all attacking our economy. See? So raging in wrath shall go forth as wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come, and join the battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. And this is prophetically, Assyrians is speaking about America, right? And there was an actual article, I can't remember where I saw it at, but I think it was either the commander of the IRGC or the Ayatollah himself basically said that America can be touched by them, right? They got missiles, long range missiles enough that they could touch America, and plus they're getting missiles from Russia as we speak, and we know Russia got missiles that can reach America. See, so it says, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, because right now it doesn't look like they have the upper hand. Right, and right now it looks like they're on the defense, right? They're the 48ers, they're over there smashing Hamas up, right? The Houthis, they're not really doing too much. Okay, Hezbollah, they're shooting missiles, but they're not even hitting nothing. Okay, while they're getting bombed. So it looks like the 48ers that they're in right now in this position, they're winning this war. But it says what? Then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. See, and that is what this is going to lead to. It's going to lead to them remembering their nature. Okay? And those Iranians, right, them Elamites, they wild. All right? Those it's not like these East Indians that you see over here in America, right? Them Iranian, them Persians, they get busy. But once again, it all is according to the measure of time that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has it to go forth. Okay, but yeah. So I just want to touch on that because once again, they are going to get the upper hand and they're going to remember their nature. And once that takes place, and things have to happen in order for that to take place. It's not like they're just going to one day just wake up and remember their nature. No, they're going to get pushed into that, right? The Lord is having things happen on the earth that is going to bring this prophecy to pass. Just like how he had that spirit go forth as a lying spirit to bring forth the downfall, right? The death of Ahab in the battle at Ramoth Gilead. Okay, and as we read, the Lord's words did not go out void, but they accomplish that which is set forth to do. Okay, so we just, like I said, all we got to do is just continue to keep watching and seeing how the Lord work, and He is working, man. So, with that, Lord willing, this was edifying unto the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash. Shalom.